Oh, mommy, I was in grandma's tummy first, but I choked and died. My daughter's birthday is only 3 days different from my dead sister's. This is from someone named Rando Leo. We set off on a road we had never been on and began to drive into the mountains. We rounded a bend in the thick fir woods and emerged in a meadow that was totally surrounded by thick aspen groves. The meadow was perfectly flat and eerily still. No birds, hardly any insect noise, no squirrels, and certainly no other people. On the far side of the meadow, right at the edge of the tree line, there was a picnic table. It was painted a bright orange and was much larger than a typical picnic table in a park. The overall silence of the aspen grove was unsettling. The table was ridiculously oversized. The seats were nearly at chest level, meaning I would have to climb up to even sit on them. What? As I was looking at the table, Nick called me over to the truck, and I noticed he was looking back out into the aspen. At first, I couldn't see what he was looking at, but then I noticed a splash of color that was completely out of place. A small one-man tent was set back in the trees. I had an initial feeling of dread and felt certain that there was someone in the tent, and if we could see the tent, they could see us. There were no campgrounds in the area, no people, no main roads for miles. We didn't see any movement or hear any sounds coming from it. "Hey, anyone in there?" I yelled. No reply. What if there was a body in the tent? What if somebody had gotten kidnapped? With my heart pounding, I started walking through the trees towards the tent. I was totally keyed up with my senses on full alert. When I reached the campsite, several things struck me as odd. Backpacks were scattered all over. No fire had been built, no wood collected. The tent was literally full of backpacks and women's clothing. As I left, I heard Nick start yelling, "Let's go! Let's get out of here!" When I broke out of the trees, I saw a beat-up old Ford Taurus on the road blocking us from leaving the meadow. I immediately leapt into the passenger seat and Nick floored the gas pedal. The car was occupied by 2 men. A third person was laying against the window in the back. The driver attempted to block us from the road, but Nick drove around them and accelerated the way we had come from. Nick drove like a madman, and though I was honestly terrified that they would catch up, we hit the highway without seeing the car again. I called the state police and they promised to send a trooper out to check out the scene. However, I received a call the next day from a trooper stating that the campsite, the backpacks, and the women's clothing were all gone, although I could tell people had been in the area. The strange table was still by the thick aspen grove. Okay, that was really weird. Then who was on the phone? I was alone in the house. An unknown number called me and I could hear the same TV show I was watching. I kept saying hello and my voice would echo back. I thought it was just one of those broken calls where you can hear your mic feedback, but right before I put down the call, I heard a voice whispering, "Goodbye. Good night." I stared at the phone, then I said hello again. The static and the echo disappeared. It was all quiet then suddenly. "Hi." I put down the phone, turned off the TV, and ran to bed. I don't even know what I would have done if something like that had happened to me. Like, cried, peed my pants. Like, that is petrifying. This next one is from the